tuned. It's YBTV. Today we are doing the personal credit course. We about to dive into it. So, to get started off easy, first thing we're going to talk about is what is credit and what are the credit bureaus. Okay, what is credit? Credit is the ability to borrow an item or some type of belonging from somebody and be able to pay it back on time because you're not paying the full amount. So for example, the idea of credit is like, let's say you got a guy named Dave, right? He always borrows money, and you got Kareem. He always borrows money, right? Now Dave didn't borrow money from Tiny, Mike, CJ, and Carlos. And Kareem borrowed money from the same people, right? Now let's say you were one of these people that he borrowed from. Now what happens is Dave, he started dodging their phone calls. He stopped responding on Facebook. He don't want nothing. He riding past, ducking when he see him, and they seeing all that because he agreed to pay them back $20 a week until the $100 that he borrowed from each one of them was paid off. But he didn't, and he ran on his responsibility. Now Kareem was different. Kareem paid him the $20, and just like you said, every Friday when he got paid, he dropped out $20 to each one of them. Now, do you think that they gonna give him more money or him more money? They gonna give it to Kareem, right? Because Kareem paid them like they agreed on. And that is the idea of credit. Getting something, a car, a loan, a credit card, furniture, whatever. Getting something on time that you don't have to pay up front, and you just pay it back with time. And you just agree to certain terms, and when you agree to those terms, you pay it back within those terms. Every week, pay it every week. Every month, pay it every month. On time, the correct amount. Now, the bureaus. The bureaus is basically, let me write these down, because this is definitely important. What are the 3 credit bureaus? If you don't know them, make sure you make a note of this. This is very important. It is Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are the 3 credit bureaus, all right? So it's very important to know those 3: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Now, what are the ranges of credit? You can go from a 0, which is no credit, to a 850, which is perfect credit. Okay, a 0 to 850. That is perfect credit. This is no credit. That is perfect credit. When you get a social security number and you're growing up, ain't nothing in your name, you got no credit. When you start building, you'll start falling in between this. When you get everything correct, you could possibly get an 850. I don't know anybody with an 850, but we gonna break down if that's important or not. But we definitely gonna break that down. This is not the right one. I need my other paper. It's the other one. All right, we're gonna talk about why is credit important. Why is it so important to have credit? What is the whole purpose of this, to even play these games with people and go through all these things just so you can have this good number? What's so crazy about having a good number? I'm going to explain it to you. Let me erase this. The reason that credit is so important because it affects you in almost every walk of life. It affects you. Why and how does it affect you? It can affect you from getting, of course, a car. What else? A home. These are the things that most people know, like, I want good credit so I can buy a house. I want good credit so I can get a car. I want good credit. Those are great things to know about. But did you know that your credit can affect you getting a job? Did you know that? What about if I told you that your credit can help you in a case that's criminal? Have you ever seen, like, if you are a fan of Law and Order Special Victims Unit? I found it. I found it. Right, it's right over here. Law and Order Special Victims Unit. You'll notice one thing. They always, when they looking for somebody to see if they are part of this scheme or scam or whatever, they always check their credit to see, like, hey, this person, their credit's in the toilet, they rating this out, they owe this person, they owe that person, they owe this person. That person probably took a bribe. Now, I'm going to tell you a very short story about something that actually happened with me, right? I was in a situation where I was hauling freight for the government. It was like explosives and ammo and guns, and it was army ammunition. Do you know they pulled my credit? They pulled my credit report, and they pulled me into a room where one guy was an agent, and we sat and we went through everything on my credit, my plans, when it should be paid off, do I plan on catching this up, am I paying this off, blah blah blah, this and this. And in the end, it's a lot of people that got denied a clearance to carry government freight because they had bad credit. So it can affect you, and those loads was paying $5, $6, $7 a mile. You could get $5,000 for 1,000 miles, which is basically like, dude, that's like a day of work, and you make $5,000 off 1 day of work. If you run a team, what you got to do, you $5,000 off 1 day. And because you don't have good credit, they'll let you start in, and they're going to do their investigation. And when they pull that credit, they're going to let you go. They're going to let you know, like, hey, I can't do it. I know somebody, they pulled their clearance because of their credit. All right. Now, we got the criminal convictions. We got the house. We got the car. We got all those things, right? What if I told you, if you got a person in a dead-end job and they got good credit, that they can change their whole life. Now, to think of a job to me that's dead end is a job that, you know, like, you're probably not going to be making, you know, a lot of money on, or you don't have a lot of growth potential. So one of the jobs that I'm not too fond of is a teacher. Like, I think teachers are great. We definitely need them, but I don't like the way they treat it. Because teachers, from my understanding, they are graded on they're not graded on performance. They're graded on how good the economy is doing, how good the city is doing. So, like, it's part of the budget to say, hey, Chicago Public Schools, we got this much money to put to them, so we can pay the teachers this much. So you can be the best teacher ever, and you won't get a raise. So let's do 2 teachers. 2 teachers, okay? We're going to go with 2 teachers. I'm not a good drawer. Okay, we got Kareem again and Sheila. Okay, now, Sheila, she's making $60K a year as a teacher. So is Kareem, making $60K a year as a teacher. Kind of on a high end. Let's just say, as a teacher, he making $60K, she making $60K. Now, the thing is, Sheila, her credit is terrible. She has a 557 credit score. Okay? Now, Kareem making a 60, he has a 725 credit score. Now, let me show you the difference. Sheila, she's not saving, but he's saving. He got a good credit score, not that 60. He's saving, and he's living. He's not living above his means, right? So I'm gonna explain to you what living above your means mean in a minute. So he's doing great. He's saving. He's doing this. So the school district, they not gonna get another raise for the next 5 years, right? And that affects both of them. Ain't now one of them gonna get a raise. It don't matter that Kareem is doing great with the students. They passing all the tests. They learning. He don't get another raise for another 5 years. Okay, cool, right? Now, Kareem is saving. So Kareem goes out and he stays in an apartment. They both stay in apartments. So Kareem, he goes out and he buys himself a 3-level building. Okay? He goes and buys that for $200,000. Now he goes and lives on the first floor, rents out the basement, and rents out upstairs. So basically, Kareem is now staying for free. Kareem is staying for free in that building. These two units are paying his mortgage and putting them about $300 a month in his pocket. So he up $300 more a month, right? He's up $300 more. Okay. Sheila, she went and bought her a brand new Lexus. Put that emblem on now. She went and bought her a Lexus. Yeah, she doing good. She riding up. Kareem ain't got no Lexus. Kareem got him a Ford Focus to get him from point A to point B. It gets him back and forth to work, but he just bought this building. Now, he could take that extra and put it on the car, but he don't. You know what Kareem does? Kareem continues to stack that money. He was paying $1,700 a month in bills before. That was rent, light, gas, everything. But staying in this building, all that is covered. When he covered his mortgage and everything else, he covered the $1,700. So now he's not paying this anymore. He's not paying that no more. So you know what he does? He takes that same money and put it in a savings account. Okay? He takes this money, puts it in a savings account. Now he doing $1,700 a month. He doing $1,700 a month. I'm sorry. $1,700 a month. Oh, damn, I gotta go pick up my son. $1,700 a month. And guess what happens? After all of that, he's saving and saving and saving and saving. By the time he reached the 3-year mark, he got what, 20, 30, 40,000? Add that up for me. 17,000 times 12. 1,700 times 12. Let me know what that number is. Okay, so now he's doing that. In 5 years, or less, maybe 3. So that's 20,000, 20,000. So 20, 40, 60. He got, in 4 years, he got, let's just say, no. In 3 years, he got $60,000 saved up. He goes now and goes to buy a 6 unit. Guess what? Out this 6 unit building, he making like $2,500 a month in extra money. And he just keep on repeating the process. Doing what he need to do. You know why? Because he had the credit and the savings. That's the only thing. Oh yeah, in 5 years, she upgraded from her Lexus and get her a new Benz truck. Ooh, she got her a nice Benz. And has no money and has still got poor credit. His credit score still up there. His savings is constantly going up. Then he goes and buy himself a Maserati. Well, no, how you do it? He goes and buy a Maserati. $60,000 cash. He still got it. He's still a teacher. She's still a teacher. But the difference is credit and savings. That's it. Same scenario, same situation, different ways to handle money. It's the only difference. Credit is very, very important. Very important. It's very important. Now, let's go over how credit is calculated. Credit is basically calculated in a very, it's not a really complex method. It's pretty simple, but it's definitely calculated pretty simply. The way credit is calculated. First thing we're going to do is what? Age. Age is what? How long have you had this account? How long have you had this credit card? How long have you been paying on this car? How long have you been paying on this furniture? So that's how long. They want to see longevity. They want to see that you actually paying on something and you've been doing it for a nice amount of time. They don't want to say, oh, well, you know, you've been paying your car for about 4 months. That's great, but like, most people go delinquent around the year and a half mark. So they want to see, can you make it past that? Can you make it to the 2-3 year mark? They want to see some age on some of your credit. Now, the next one is the easy one. Timely payments. They want to make sure you paying on time. If you get a credit card, if you get a car note, if you get whatever, they're going to say, hey, we want our money by the 14th of each month, or the 1st, or by the 5th of each month, you can say. By the 4th, the 5th, the 14th of each month, or whatever, right? And if you don't pay it, that's considered not on time. You need to pay on time. Do not be late. Do not be late. Not a day late. Do not be late. Always pay on time. Okay? What else? The amount of creditors. So do you got 20 credit cards? That's too much. That's way too much. You got way too many. So they want to make sure that you got a good credit mix. They want to make sure, okay, you got a couple credit, 2, 3 credit cards, 4 at the most. You got a mortgage, you got a car note. You got a nice little credit blend. You got that going on. You paying on time. You've been paying for a while. You good. That's great. That's good. That's time. And then ratio. Definitely. Now the credit card, they got, okay, ratio. Let's do ratio first before I move ahead. Ratio is basically, you're not overspending. They want to make sure that you're not going over the magic number. What's the magic number? Like with credit cards, it's 30%. Now, let me go back for a minute. I meant to explain something. Living above your means. I need to explain what living above your means is. To live above your means is to be able to say that you're living in a way that you can't afford to live. Like, if you're going out and you're buying designer clothes, like you buying the designer belts, the designer shoes, and all those things, and you stand in a place that's unsafe. You don't have a car, but you have 5 outfits that's over $1,000 a piece, and you don't have a way to get around. You're living above your means. You're going and buying things that you cannot afford. So don't buy things you can't afford. Don't try to go get the big house, the nice car, and you got like this much wiggle room within your income. So you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. You got to make sure that you have, money to save and money to be able to enjoy life. Go out to eat. Treat your lady, treat your guy to something to eat or whatever you want to do. So that's called living above your means. If you are out and you're not, going out, and if you're going out and purchasing things that you can't afford, that's considered living above your means. Now back to what I was saying. The ratio, 30%. 30% on the ratio side is like this. Like, if you got a $1,000 credit card, right? You got a $1,000 credit card, and 30% of 1,000 is 300. That's the most you could spend in 1 month. And at the end of that billing cycle, which means that when you spend this, they're gonna send you a bill to say, hey. Oh, they're gonna send you a bill. I gotta call them back. Everybody always do that. They're going to send you a bill that say, hey, look, you owe $300, but if you could send us $50, or matter of fact, on $300, they're going to probably say, send us a payment of at least $15. No, you send them $300. Whatever you spend off that credit card, when that billing cycle comes to an end and they send you a bill, whatever the maximum amount is that you spent, you need to pay that full amount off if you can, if that's possible. So that's ratio, 30%. So example, for people that's just starting out, they might give you a card for $300. The most 30% of 300 is $30 off of every 100. So 30, 60, 90. That's 300. So that's $90. That's $90. 30%. Every $100, you could spend 30 out of every 100 that you got on your limit. So you got that. Now, moving on. We got the ratios. We got the amount, the timely payments. We got utilization. Utilization. Same thing about like the ratios. That's that you're utilizing more of your credit. Don't go get a furniture card for $5,000 and go spend the whole $5,000. So utilization, they normally, okay, this is the ratio. This was mostly with the credit cards. The utilization, like, don't go over with your store cards and all your cards and all your accounts. You don't want to end up owing too much money, because they're going to add it together and say, well, you got $40,000 worth of available credit, but you've got $32,000 of debt out of that. you're overusing your credit. Then they got one for just credit cards. They got a credit card one, and that one actually helps to calculate your credit score. Derogatory marks. That's basically negative stuff. Collections and late payments and things of that nature. It's stuff like that. That is how credit is calculated. They take a mix of all these things and they give you a credit score off of those things. Now, I do want to hit on something. How does it hit you when you got these derogatory marks? Now, we're going to dive into the derogatory marks. How does that affect you? Okay, now, a derogatory mark, we're going to go over derogatory marks. We're going to go over like how it impacts you, okay? So, we're going to go over the negative impacts. When you got this right here, right? An inquiry. And then you got collections, overuse, and late payments. Okay? So an inquiry, that's a low impact. That's low impact. It's not going to hit you that hard, about 5 or 10 points. Which means that if you got a credit score of 680, it'll go down to like 675 or maybe 670. An inquiry is basically you running your credit. You asking somebody, hey, run my social security number, check how I pay other people, and see if you could qualify me for whatever item, whatever money, whatever service that you got where I could get it on credit, right? That inquiry right there is going to cost you 5 or 10 points. If you get a lot of them, you lose a lot of points. 5 inquiries could cost you 25 to 50 points. You know, you never know around that area. And the more inquiries, the more they start to hit you harder. Because now you're going to get too many inquiries, and then they're going to say, hey, you got 10 inquiries in a year. The inquiries leave after every 2 years too. Inquiries leave after every 2 years. So, but when you accumulate so many of them, it'll hurt you because they'll say, well, you got 25 inquiries on your report. So not only are we going to charge you the 5 to 10 points, we're going to take an additional 20 from you because you're asking too much. So you can't keep on running your credit. That's not a good thing. Now, but this is initially a low impact. Now, collections, oh, that's high. That's a high impact. This thing right here can cost you from 50 to almost 200 points. This is one of the worst things you can have, a collection. Because you know what happens with a collection? It's like this. You going through ABC Capital. You get a card. ABC Capital gives you a card. You miss your payment, right? You miss your payment again. You miss your payment again. They call. They try to reach out to you by phone. They try to reach out to you by mail. You're not responding. They're going to write that debt off and they're going to send it to a collection agency. When they send that to a collection agency, that collection agency, they say like, hey, we hitting your credit, we this, we're going to call you more, we're going to get you more because they done bought that debt. The point is that when you got a collection on your credit, it already went from ABC Capital usually to a collection agency or collection department. And that's some of the worst stuff. That's like the last lens. That's it. Like, they going hard, they want their money. Now, the thing is, but late payments. You start off with late payments, then you end up at collections. So, late payments. If you don't pay on time, yes, high impact again. High impact again. You got a late payment. So, with that being said, what happens is, when you got a late payment, they gonna hit you around the same thing, almost 50 to 200 points. It's going to be big. You're going to lose 60, 70, 80 points. So you could go from a 680 to a 600. Miss it again, it'll take you all the way down to a 520. Like I'm telling you, like these late payments and collections will kill you. Overusage is still a high impact too. If you go over, if you got $1,000 card and you use $950, You just use 95% of that car's limit. What's the percentage you're supposed to be using? Correct. 30% at most. 30% at most. Now, the thing about this is, if you make these mistakes, don't worry. Like, if you miss a payment or you go over, you pay it down. You pay it down and you follow the rule after that. After you start paying it down and you get it down to 0 or to 30%, your credit score it's been known to jump up 45 points. Just like soon as you make a payment, like you make that payment, it will drop you down. When you make that payment, it'll bring you right back up, close to where you was at. So don't worry if you made mistakes in this area. Don't worry about it. You can fix it. You can fix a lot of these things. Don't worry about it. But the one thing is, to lose it is easy. One billing cycle. You late on 2 things, you can go from having almost excellent credit to terrible credit. But the thing is, to rebuild it will take you months and months. It can even take you a year or so just to rebuild it, just from negativity. Missed payments, late payments, things of that nature. You just gotta keep on moving forward. But if you keep on letting it go, I'm telling you, it will kick you in the behind. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. Okay, going back. All right, so we went through all of these. We went through negative ways that it impacts your credit. But let's go over some positive ways about how things load and how it impacts your credit. So let's go over that. All right. So a positive way things can impact your credit. Positive. Inquiries they fall off after 2 years. So when one of them fall off, it impacts your credit in a positive way. You might get 5 or 10 points. Then paying debt. If you got an account, a collection, or if you got a collection or something like that and you pay it, what will happen is you'll probably get 30, 40 points. Maybe even 50, 60. I've seen people go up 75, 80 points off paying some debt off. If your credit card balance is too high, pay them down. If you got some type of collection, call the collection company, negotiate it, get it off, and it'll fall off and your credit score will shoot up. Now, last but not least, you got overuse. Paying it down to a minimum. Paying it down. You got a $1,000 car, you use $900, pay the $900 back. Man, your credit score is going to start to shoot up. It's going to start to continuously shoot up. And that's one of the best ways that you could understand positive and negative impacts on your credit. You got high impact where you lose 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 points. Then you got low impact, 5 or 10 points. Something off of inquiries. Inquiries do fall off. Paying your debt, you can help. Overuses. It's so many different ways that you can rebuild your credit. And the way that you do these things is just by catching up, paying the bills, getting your stuff back in on time. And if you got a late payment, that's what I was going to say. Don't miss any more. Just if you fail on hard times, you got a late payment, listen. One of the things about a late payment is if you call some of these places and let them know, look, my paycheck fell late, or I had a real fast bill, I'm going to be a couple weeks behind, or I'm going to be a week behind, or whatnot. If you call them, a lot of the places will be like, all right, well, we'll do right by you. This the first time you ever did it, blah, blah, blah. Don't make a habit of it or whatever. Sometimes they'll work with you, but call them before it's late. And you could be able to dodge a late payment. Now, you got that. How can you check your credit? How can you inquire about your credit? Where do you go to find out what your credit score is? Blah, blah, blah. So let's do scores first. We're going to go with scores. The number one most commonly known is Credit Karma. That is ways that you could check. Now, these ways right here are free. We're going to go with free. We're going to do the scores first, then we're going to do the report. Credit Karma, they're going to give you your scores, and they're gonna give you a vague, report. It's gonna give you a little snapshot, a little synopsis. You got Credit Karma, Wallet Hub, Credit Sesame, Discover. You got all of those. You got Discover, Credit Sesame, Wallet Hub, and another one, Credit Wise. These are all free sources where you can check your credit. This one deals in FICO. These are Vanguard. Vantage. All that is Vantage. That's FICO though. I'm going to explain to you Vantage and FICO later. But for right now, these are all free places to check your credit. All of these has apps. You can get the app. I think you can just go online and go to their site and sign up. You don't have to have a credit card with Discover, and they will let you see your credit score free. They'll give you updates and everything. Okay? So, now, we still going to do scores. But this one right here is paid. It's one place that I know of. Well, I know four. Okay. First, you go to the bureaus. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Now, the thing is a lot of them offer credit scores. They offer your credit report, your credit scores for payment. The one that I like the best is because mostly a lot of these, I really don't like to deal with these individually, because you might, let's say if you want all three, you want to deal with them for your TransUnion, them for this, you might pay $20 a month to have access to this, $20 a month to have access to this, $20 a month to have access to this. So they might charge you whatever, right? But what I like to go to is if you're going to get a paid app to monitor your credit scores and your credit report, My FICO is the way to go. I think it's like $29.99 a month, and they give you a breakdown. I'm talking about like they give you a nice breakdown. I'm gonna break down FICO versus Vanguard or Vantage in a minute, but for right now, tell you if you want an app that's gonna show you everything on your report, give you constant updates, my FICO is the way to go. If you just want ballpark to see where you at, to kind of, know around where you at, a little hit or miss here and there, you could go with the free ones, the Credit Karma ones. Discover pretty cool too, but it only give you one bureau. If you want all three bureaus, they give you all three. They give you all three bureaus with my FICO. They give you all three. So that's definitely a way to go if you want to pay to monitor your credit. Okay? So we got that. What is bad? Which one is the worst? Bad credit or no credit? Like you hear it on commercials all the time. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. We are welcoming you. Let me explain to you this. Bad credit and no credit. Now, with bad credit, what's one of the things with bad credit that you could have without no credit? If you got bad credit, you could have accounts with age to them. You can have accounts with age. You can have accounts that's 5, 6, 7 years old, but you got bad credit. But you got accounts with age that you've been paying for a while. You fell off into hard times, blah, 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 whatever, right? No credit, no age. You ain't got no age on credit. So that's a negative with no credit. You ain't got no history. Bad credit, you got history. You got sometimes it might be somewhat bad history, but you got history though. Now, no credit, you ain't got none of the other stuff. No inquiries, no this, no that. So bad credit, you made a lot of mistakes. And it ended up decreasing your credit score to a point where you under 600. Under 600 is pretty like, it's considered like bad credit. 550, 559. That's, anything's in the fives is bad. Fours is horrible. If you're in the three, whoo, you know. So like 600 or under is considered like bad credit. When you got over 600, you in a, oh, I might give this guy a chance type credit, possibly, depending on what's on that. Now, no credit. The thing about bad credit, you can rebuild it. You can rebuild it if you put the pedal to the metal, come up with a game plan, and start saying, I owe A, B, C, 5,000, 400, 900. You start paying them $100 a month, $40 a month, $30 a month. If you start doing that, that bad credit will start to come up. I'm telling you, you start making arrangements, you call these people, you make arrangements, you start paying them off, your bad credit could start coming up. It's going to take you a little while, but you start making arrangements. Or you could go to one of these places like Lexington Law that'll start contesting stuff, but we're going to get into that later. Okay? Now, no credit. No credit, it sounds like it's kind of somewhat of a bad thing. No credit means that you need to have some what? Patience. Patience. Because only thing you got to do with no credit is go get one credit card. One credit card. Spend the bare minimum. You go get a credit card, you go to Capital One, get you a credit card, they're going to probably give you like $200 to $300 as a trial. They're going to give you that. Use $10 off of this card, and guess what's going to happen? Use $10 the first month you get it, and pay the whole $10 back when the billing cycle ends. Meaning, billing cycle means that when the bill come out for your monthly usage, whatever you use that month, they're going to send you a bill and say, hey, you use $10, you can send us $3, and you know, like, you'll be good. No, don't send them 3. Send them the whole 10. Pay it off. With credit cards, that's the number one credit card rule. Whatever you spend in that cycle, at the end of that cycle, you're supposed to pay it back. So $10. Your no credit is going to go up to like a 667, which is a great credit score. You could get a house with this, you could get a car with this, and you could do this in 1 month. 1 month. You ain't got no credit, you go get a credit card, they send that credit card out, you use it, that billing cycle in for $10, you pay the $10, and every month you keep doing that. By the time 6 months come up, you'll be at a 715 credit score. That is considered good credit right there. So no credit, these commercials say good credit, no credit. If they wanted to help you, they'll say, look, at no credit, I'm going to charge you a crazy interest rate. At good credit, you could get a nice car with good credit. Can you hold out for a little while? Look, you ain't got no credit, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go online, go get a credit card, spend $10 off of it, pay it back, come back to see me, your credit will be good. If I had a car lot, I would do that. But most people not going to do that. They're going to get the interest. That's what some of the stuff that you need to know. And we're going to get into interest rates too. But that's good credit, no credit, things of that, right? I got to go back for one more minute. I forgot to tell y'all one more thing. And it's definitely important because it's on the test. Where do you get your free credit report from? Credit report is like this. It's going to have everything you did. It's not going to have a score. It's going to have a report. It's going to have everything from where you lived at, your addresses, your phone numbers that you had, the people you worked for. It's going to have all the people that you got loans from, your credit cards, everything. It's going to tell you everything about you credit-wise. You can get one of these free every year. And it's free every year. At annual, ANNUAL, credit report.com. annualcreditreport.com. Once a year, you get one of these free. I tell you this, when you go there, they're going to ask you to log in to all 3 bureaus. You go through all the little motions or whatnot, and you log in to all 3 bureaus. They're going to give you reports from each one. Save those reports. Email them to yourself. Whatever you got to do, save those reports. It's very, very, very important. Okay? All right. Now, So we know no credit versus bad credit. And you know no credit is better than bad credit because no credit is easy to build. When you ain't got no credit, it's like going into a new school that you've never been to. Nobody knows you. Everybody's trying to find out, like, is this guy nice? Is this guy kind? Is this guy a bully? Is this guy respectful? Is this guy, like, they trying to find out about you. So that's what it is to have no credit. You haven't made any impression on anybody. So your first impression is going to last. So it's like, bam, you go in, you pay for something on time that first time. They shoot you super high up. And then you go down from there, or you can go up from there if you keep up the good work. All right. Okay. People using your credit. Now, this is very important. When should you let someone use your credit? Like cosign or put your name on something. Put your social up. That's my homie. That's my boo. That's bae right there. All that, right? When should you let them use your credit? When should you cosign? Never. Never. Baes become old baes. Boyfriends become ex-boyfriends. Girlfriends become ex-girlfriends. But the one thing is, that don't just go away. That don't go away. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly why. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like in certain situations like my mom. If my mom ever needed me to co-sign for something, I would do it. But she has her own credit. The best thing that you could do for your mate is help them build their credit. You say, hey, look, babe, you need to start building credit. I'm not about to co-sign for you no car. I'm going to buy this course. I got this course from Tune. I was able to fix my credit. I love you. Here you go. Go watch this and we can work on it together. I'll show you. That's the best way to go. Build you a powerhouse on the side of you. Otherwise, the rule of thumb is, if they didn't care enough about their own credit, will they honestly care about yours? Now, let me tell you a secret. Tell you a trick, right? Miss Water. Now, look. This is a secret that I try to tell people like this, right? When you co-sign for a vehicle, this is what happens, right? A lot of people get weaseled into it, right? I know y'all done seen this happen before, and it's kind of funny. Look, one of your friends get a card in the mail. You get a card in the mail, bam. And it's got a little token on the side of it, right? So he gets something from Regis Cars. He got a little token on the side of it. It say, come down to Regis Cars today and you can cash in this token. You could win a Ferrari. You could win a Benz, a BMW. You could win a Ferrari, BMW, Benz, all wrapped into one card. We just going to give you everything. Just come down, cash in this. We're going to give you a scratch off card and see what you want. Tommy goes down there with this. He scratches it off. Bam. Scratch, 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 scratch. Guess what happened? It says that Tommy didn't win nothing. They say, hey, Tommy, while you down here, man, we got these beautiful cars, man. Look at that Charger, look at that Camaro. You look good in the BMW, man. Look, just write your social security number, your name down right here. We're going to go run it, and we're going to come back and tell you what you could get. Tommy's like, you know what? Forget, I'm already here. So he does it. It comes back what? Denied. So guess what happens? Now, they tell you, look, there's a phone over there. Look, man, go ahead, sit over there. You use our phone, you use your phone. Call all your friends, man. See if you get somebody to come down here to sign on this dotted line, and you could drive off with one of these nice cars. So he called people. He called 4 people. 3 of them got my course, and they know. No, Tommy, we not giving you nothing. So he's down to 1 person. 1 person does it. 1 person cosigns. Now, let me tell you what happens if you cosign for a person. Now, this is a real life story. This actually happened to somebody near and dear to me. They co-signed for a car that was $15,000. Right? They co-signed. Now, when you co-sign, let's say Kareem and Dave. Dave is the one who had the bad credit. Kareem had good credit. He had a 775. Dave had a 565. They told Dave he needed a cosigner. Somebody to sign on the loan and say, hey, if he don't, look, I know this guy, he's going to pay for this. Look, I'm going to put my stuff down just to ensure that he's going to get it. But in reality, he's saying that if Dave don't make the payments, I will. That's what you're agreeing to when you co-sign. If that person does not make the payments, you will. So this is what happened. Dave is somebody I know, and Kareem is somebody that I actually know. So Dave went out, had his car, and he didn't get car insurance. Dave gets into an accident, smashes the car up, right? Now he still owes $15,000 on his car. So now the car done been towed away, right? That's a tow truck. So the car being towed away now, right? He still owe this. The car don't exist no more. He's only a debt. Guess what Dave do? He says, forget that car and forget that money. He didn't care. He said, man, my credit already jacked up. I don't even care. Moved on. Kareem still owed that. They start calling Kareem, hey, when you going to make a payment on this car? Kareem, what's going on? Where's the money at, Kareem? Now, guess what happens to Kareem's credit score? Went all the way down from a 775 to a 540. Kareem is in bad, he got bad credit, and they coming after him for $15,000. Do you want to do that? Is that something you interested in? Yeah, babe, this, and this. That person can stop paying it. And guess what? I'm going to say it like this before I end this. Don't believe me. Go watch the movie Woo. Go watch the movie Woo with Jada Pinkett. That dude, I think it was Tommy Davidson. He had an ex-girlfriend. And she put a tag on the back of the car that said cosign for. And you know what? On that movie, he was paying the note on the Corvette. She just stopped paying it. She stopped paying. Like, man, I ain't paying for it. He stopped paying it. The more he wanted to keep his score up, so he paid it. He been paying on that car for so long, he almost paid it off when went in the movie. He pretty much was about to pay it off. And you know what? That's what it is. He co-signed for it. You're agreeing that if that person don't make the payment, you will. Moving on. How one missed payment inquiry high balances can impact you. We already went over that. What is a FICO score and what is Vantage? FICO. Vantage. Equal to USA. Math. Chinese math. Now, in a sense, it is a bad analogy because you still gonna come out with the same answer, but it's just done differently. But this is like, you know, the USA, we use a certain type of math, and China use a certain type of math. It's different ways of doing things. Like they do something totally different than the United States. We just, 15 plus 7 or 15 times 7, and we do whatever. We do, divided by 15 or whatever. We do ours that way. They do it like they are 15, 7, bring that over, times it by 1 and bring it back. They do something totally different. Neither one of them is wrong, but they just different. Okay? Just different. It's like, matter of fact, taking different directions to work. These are called algorithms. Let me explain it. It's an algorithm. It's just a way of doing something, a way of calculating. That's why I use math, because it's a way of calculating. They use a different way of calculating. They say this plus this minus this plus this, equals you having a credit score of a 750. And they say, well, this plus this minus this plus this equal you having a credit score of a 735. So FICO and Vantage, they both do the same thing, but they do it in different ways. So they come out with different answers a lot of the time. So which one is the best? I say they both fine by me. Which one is the best? To me, I kind of like Vantage. I like Vantage better. But The reason why FICO is the best out of everything is because they're the most used. Most people use FICO. So they go to their database to say, all right, how did you see Kareem on the credit? They say, well, Kareem got a 735 with us. They don't ask Vantage. They don't use it. Now, what's the difference between Vantage and FICO? Now, Vantage, a lot of the free apps use Vantage. Credit Karma use Vantage. Wallet Hub uses Vantage. Credit Sesame, they use Vantage. Credit Sesame, Wallet Hub. I got some more on here. Credit Karma, Wallet Hub, Credit Sesame, Credit Wise. They all use Vantage. They all use that way that they do their calculations to get their scores. Now, don't get me wrong, they be pretty close, but they do their math different than they do their math. And that's just called the way they do their math to add up your credit, that's called an algorithm. The way they use their math to add up their credit is called an algorithm. They use different algorithms. Now, with FICO, Discover will give you your FICO score. And then you got Discover and you got My FICO. That's the paid one. They'll give you your FICO score. So you could use Vantage. You could use Credit Karma and Wallet Hub and Credit Sesame and Credit Wise. You could use those. But just know when you go to get a car, they're not going to be checking for your Vantage score. They're going to be looking for your FICO score. But when you go there, you're going to probably be around the same thing. If you're a 750, you might be a 735 or a 745 or, a 765. It could be up and down. It just matters how they do their math with you as a person. So it's always different. Sometimes your Vantage be higher than your FICO. Sometimes your FICO be higher than your Vantage. But they ballpark be around. You don't normally see a huge gap. Like, you're not gonna see like somebody with a 750 Vantage score and a 602 a FICO score. You rarely will see that. That's not really normal. Like, you hardly gonna see that. Now, when it comes to FICO, let me show you the trick about FICO. Now, every bureau has a FICO score. Let me break this down. Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. I'm just going to write it down so you can keep remembering it. Now, they all have FICO scores. They all have FICO scores, right? But each one of them have all types of FICO scores. So you got these are just random numbers I'm picking, but it's somewhat similar. You got your FICO 9 score, your FICO 12 score, your FICO 20 score, your FICO 27 score. And you got the same thing, 9, whatever, 27, you got the same thing. You got the same thing with all these, right? Now, if somebody is pulling from your Experian, they got 4 different scores, maybe 6 different scores they could pull from or whatever. Why would they need that? Because every department has a different number. So, for example, if you're buying a car, they normally pull from your FICO 9. If you're buying a home, they normally pull from your FICO 12. If you're getting a credit card, it's normally FICO 20. And so forth and so on. These are examples. These are not literal. These are just examples. So when you got stuff like this, they pull from these things, right? So you go into a bank, you say, hey, my FICO, this just with Experian. They FICO, they be like, well, we pull from TransUnion. Okay, let's say the Midwest pull from TransUnion. They say, all right, well, I got a FICO score of, my FICO say that I got a 725. I'm like, yeah. But they gonna pull your FICO 9. Your FICO 9 might be a 650. Your FICO 12 might be a 767. Your FICO 20 could be a 793. And your FICO 27 could be a 678. And no lie at all, this is how it be too. Like, no lie, like you will have a regular FICO score of 700, but your scores will be all over the place. You be like, wait, what? They come back to you a paper to say that your score was 650 for a car. Then the next week you go buy a house and they like, it's a 767. You like, how? Because they pulling from your FICO score, but it's different departments within each FICO score, and it's different. All these departments is in one bureau. Experian, FICO 9, 12, 20, 27. Now I don't know exactly what the numbers is off the top of my head, but it's pretty much like that. So your scores be all over the place, and it be like, wait, how did I? Because it's different departments. So FICO, that's one of the main ones used. Now I am seeing that Synchrony Bank is a big creditor to like Walmart and things of that nature. They switched over to Vantage. They actually emailed me the other day and said, hey, we're switching over to the Vantage credit scoring system. So people are switching over to Vantage. FICO score, we did Vantage. FICO, what's an algorithm? We did that. What can you use to build credit? Okay, let's do that. We got that. Okay. Okay. Number one, credit cards. This is my number one go-to. This is like, for me, I feel like this will be number one. Credit cards. Credit cards. If you trying to build credit, you ain't got no credit, a lot of the time the best way to do is get you a credit card. If possible, 2, maybe 3 at the most. If you just starting off, you learning, get your 2. Get your 2 credit cards. Keep them at very low balances. Pay it back every month. Now, store cards, you can build credit with store cards. What do I mean by store cards? Target, Walmart, Victoria's Secret, Macy's. The list goes on and on and on. Sam's, like you know, like you could get these store cards, a Kohl's. You could get all these store cards. You get one of these, and then it help you build credit. Not an issue. But the thing is that why? What's the purpose? You don't have to do that. You don't have to do these things. You don't have to. I'm a person that I'm not a fan of store cards. I don't have any. I don't have any store cards, and it's just their way of saying, hey, you got credit with me, so you gotta come spend it with me. That's like getting a credit card that's a store card is like getting a gift card. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm about to go apply for a $1,000 gift card. With this one place, I can only spend my $1,000. When you could get a credit card for that same $1,000 and take it to any one of them stores and spend it. You can't go to Macy's with a Walmart card. You got to go to Walmart. So I'm not a fan of store cards. Some people do, some people don't. I say, don't do it. Furniture. You need furniture? You get a furniture account. Just make sure you stay away from the predatory lenders. We gonna get into predatory lenders. Stay away from them if possible. But furniture, you can get you some furniture, so that's okay. I'll do that. That'll probably be like number 2. Number 3, a loan, small loan. Let's say you go get 1,000 or whatever, blah blah blah. You need it for something. You need to get a loan. You could go get a cash money loan, but a lot of those have high interest rates. Cash just yield a higher interest rate. So it's like loans is like, not a fan of them. I would say stay away from them if possible. If you just need it and you're going to pay it back, that's fine. Go ahead, get you a loan to get you through that tough spot or whatnot. That's fine. But my number 1 is credit cards. You know why? Number 1, you can spend it anywhere. Anywhere that accepts credit cards. Number 2, you know, like you build an age with them. Number 3, it's a revolving account. Which means that a revolving account basically means this. You ever heard of a revolving door? You go around in that door, you go around in a circle, you go around in a circle until you stop. And then you get off. You know that door that just, you walk in and you just go around. That's revolving. That's a revolving door. Only time that door stops is when you stop it. Or it will continue to go forever. That's what a revolving account is. Now, example of a revolving account is a credit card. If you spend it, spend some, pay it back, spend some, pay it back. You could do this from when you old enough to get a credit card until you 98 years old, and it'll continue to do the same thing. Now, what's an unrevolving account that's credit? A home, a car loan, home, car. Those are not revolving accounts because they stop. They stop. You know how? A home mortgage is maybe 15 to 30 to 40 years. A car is normally 3 to 6 years. But after this time is up, you own that car. Those payments stop. They send you a title. You own that house. Those payments stop. They send you a title. That credit card continues to go and go and go. And they continue to raise your limit. They continue to raise your limit as long as you continue to be on time. And your credit continues to grow. Then after you outgrow one credit card, you grow into the next one. You start with your little $300 card from Capital One. You keep the balances low. You spend up to 30%. Remember, 30% at the most. And you pay it back every time. After 6 months, you ask for a raise. And guess what? They gonna take you from 300. They might take you to 700. They might take you to 1500, depending on how they feel. Now your score is up there. You at a 715. So you start off with a Capital One Platinum card, just some light. They start you off with small balances with that, but then you go and you get you a Capital One Venture card. You know what they start you off with? At least $2,000. I seen somebody get $2,000, and I see somebody get approved right off the top for $10,000. I've seen people get what's the name for $2,000 and $10,000. So I'm gonna tell you. All right. So look, that's how that works with Venture and Capital One Platinum, Capital One Venture. So you apply for a higher card that's got reward points, and I'm going to show you guys a super duper trick that most people don't know that pays you for paying your bills. I'm going to show you something super cool. All right. Now, since we're talking about credit cards, so these are ways that you could build credit. Getting one of these and paying it back on time. Cool, right? All right, Katie righty. Write that back on there. Now we're about to get into the cool part. Okay, cool part. We gonna talk about secure versus unsecured cards. A secure credit card is you pay. They pay. When you get a secure credit card, it's like saying, like, you go for a credit card, they turn you down. They say, hey, getting a secure credit card, you might as well go. You trying to build credit, your credit kind of messed up. You want some reporting that's good. You got a lot of bad stuff on there that you've been working on getting off, but you need something good reporting. So you say, hey, I'm going to get a credit card. So you get a secure card. They're going to say, look, we're not going to give you no money because we see you got kind of sketchy credit. So we're not going to give you nothing. But if you send us $300, we will take that $300 and put it on a card for you. And you'll use that $300 like it's our money. And if you continually make payments What we'll do is we'll renegotiate and we'll possibly give you a card and get your money back, and give you a card where we use our money. That's cool. That's to get you started. So you pay, so it's no risk to them. It's no risk to them, but they get to treat your money like it's theirs. They say, well, you just gave us $300. We're going to put it on a card and we're going to report to the credit bureau when you make on-time payments. But if you late, you're going to owe us a fee. If you late on this money, you owe us $75. If you do this or that, it's a fee like this. It might even be an annual fee that you got to pay. Either way it go, they not taking no risk. They only gonna make money. It helps you because nobody give you a chance. So you create your own opportunity. That's how I look at a secure card. You creating your own opportunity. Unsecured card means you got some type of credit, or you going to a card that's gonna give you a chance, and they gonna give you out they pocket $300 on a card or whatever the balance may be. And these numbers can vary, whatever the balance may be. So that's secured. That's unsecured. Secure card, you pay the money. They put it on the card, act like it's their money, penalize you like it's their money, do all the things that they would do if you had money through them, but it's your money. So they not risking their $300, you risking yours. They pay $300, you get all the same thing, maybe an annual fee, depending on who you go with. Late fees and things of that nature, cashback fees, blah, 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 this, that, and this, whatever. So you get the same thing. That is secured versus unsecured, okay? Now, credit cards versus loans. I already went over that vaguely, but I'm still going to tap on it just to reiterate. Credit card versus a loan, okay? Now, when you're talking about cash loans, now, a credit card normally gonna yield a higher interest rate, but not like a loan most of the time. Most of the time, you're gonna get a lot more higher interest rates on cash loans. Unless you got really good credit, you could get, you could get a lower interest rate on a loan, but they still be kind of up there, even if you got good credit. Credit card, same thing. You really don't want to owe them too long because they both have higher interest rates. You're not gonna get like no 3.5 or no 5% on no credit card. Like, you're not really gonna get that. Okay, now, and so last but not least, I just want to say that if you gonna go for something for long term, loans are built more for long term. But longer terms, like 2-3 year terms, but they interest rates be high. Credit cards, you could bring it up, but either way it go, if you get a high balance or whatever, I would say you'll probably. I don't really have a preference. You should not carry balances on your credit card if you don't have to. On a loan, that's what they built for, and it depends what you're going for. I would say try to stay away from carrying balances on both of them. I'm not too much of a fan of neither one of them. I'm not really too much of a fan. Now, something I wanted to make sure that I got to. Okay, did that, okay. Unsecured credit card. Using a credit card correctly. 30% rule. Like I said before, we're going to do it again. It's definitely on the test. You get a $1,000 limit on a card. You call up Discover, Capital One, American Express, like it's a million different credit cards. Okay, it's a million Barclays, and they say, hey, yeah, with your credit score, your work, blah blah blah, we'll give you 1,000 or we'll give you 10,000, whatever. The number one rule is do not spend over 30%. Let me show you the real limit. Whenever a credit card company gives you money, it's an underlying real limit. So we're going to keep it at 1,000 for the sake of math and the sake of my penmanship. 1,000. That credit card's real limit for you is $300. If you get a credit card for $2,500, that credit card's real balance is, remember, it's 300 off every 1,000. It's 30 off every 100. It's $3 off every 10. It's 30%. So, okay, 1,000, that's 300. Okay, 2,000, 600. 3,000 will be another 3, but it's only 500, so it's 150. So another 150, that'll be 750. So you got the ability out of $2,500 to spend $750. That's it. The most you can spend in 1 month, in one billing cycle, is $750. And you need to pay that back. That's if you got a $2,500 card. If you got a $1,000 card, you get to spend $300. That is how it goes. You do not get to overspend. That's how it goes. You don't get to overspend. Now, that is how the credit card rule works. Okay. Let's get busy. Okay. Now, credit versus income, the misconception. All right. A lot of people, I'm gonna ask a question, give y'all a few seconds to think about it, or you could pause it. Which one do you think is the most important? If you could get $300,000 cash, or a 850 credit score. Which one do you think would be the most important? Which one would be the smartest to take? In this hand, I got $300,000 cash. In this hand, I got something. You sign the paper, your credit score is going to be an 850. Which one do you think is the smartest to take? If you pick the $300,000, you are absolutely correct. It is $300,000. 850 can get you $300,000 to borrow. You got to pay that back. Why would you take over $300,000 cash? You're going to take a credit score that could possibly get you $300,000 cash. And then you're going to end up paying back $335. No, if you buy a house or something with that, you're going to end up paying back at least $500,000 in the what's the name of 30 years. So you're going to have a mortgage. You still broke. I know broke people with that, but I don't know broke people with that. Get what I'm saying? That means absolutely nothing. Another thing is, credit scores don't mean a lot unless you got something to go with that. And you know what credit score is? That you need income. You need income to go with that. A person with I'm going to say it like this. A person with an 850 credit score and they make $25,000 a year. They'll only qualify for possibly a loan of about $120,000. And that's to buy a house or something. Now you take somebody else who has a 678 credit score, but they make $85,000 a year. They're going to qualify for $350,000 loan. But they got a lower credit score. And guess what? This person with this 850 probably get an interest rate of, if interest rates are at, let's just say, a 4.43, the person with the 850 credit score is going to probably get that 4.43 interest rate, which is nice and low. That's good. It's great. But guess what? That person with that 678 going to get that same interest rate. Possibly get that same, maybe a half a point up or something, like a 463. Not a big difference, not a big deal. They got a 678. Listen, point blank period. Income will always outbeat credit. Because if you got $350,000 cash, you don't need a bank. You go buy your house, you go and you got more negotiating power. Hey, I got cash. Tell the buyer I'm a cash buyer. Instead of me paying $300,000 for this house, tell him I give him $260 today cash. Let's see what we talk. You want to go buy a car? Cash rules everything. You walk in there, look. Y'all want $20,000 for that car. I give you 17 right now. Here goes $17,000 cash smacking on the table. Take it or leave. You put your hand on that money. Toss me my keys. Watch how fast you. But when you going in there, you got credit. It's something totally different. Now, like a lot of places, they like to dodge paying taxes. When you pay cash, they don't have to report the income because they don't want to pay. If you give them $20,000 cash, they don't want to pay the taxes on that or whatever the case may be. They ain't got to charge you taxes. They keep the money in their pocket, and you happy. Everybody happy. They don't take a loss. Because you say 17, they say, okay, 17 plus tax going to bring you back. You say, look, you and the tax ain't got nothing to do with me. Look, here goes 17. What you going to do? See what I'm saying? So that's what it be. That's what it be right there. So you got that. You got more negotiating power when it comes to cash. You got you don't have to answer nobody. You don't have to worry about interest rates when you got cash to buy. You just smack the cash down and walk away, and people usually take it. So that's one of the biggest misconceptions. Don't let people tell you, oh, 850 credit score, I just want that 850 because it's going to change. Yes, it can change your life. It is a great tool to have a great credit score. But when you choose an 850 credit score over $300,000 cash, I could call you by phone. I could call you by cell phone, by home phone. Or else I can call you what you are, and that's crazy. That is crazy. You don't turn down $300,000 for a credit score because you could go somewhere to get your credit worked on and pay under $2,000 with some of the longest credit repair companies, and they'll get you a good credit score where you can buy some stuff, and you will still have $298,000 left. So that's just I'm just saying, like, that's just one of them things. So. That's just that. All right. Now, we're about to get to the fun part. Kids. Children. Let's talk about kids. Kids. You got a 15-year-old kid. Two of them. Two 15-year-old kids. You got Zoe and you got Lo. All right. Zoe 15. Low, about 12. Okay, so this is what you do. You get a credit card that you got and you've been taken care of. You got a credit card. Okay, there goes the credit card. Okay, you got a credit card. So, you are what's called on this card an authorized user. Because you are the owner of this card. Right? Now, every time, and you keeping the balance low, you spending under 30%, and you paying it back. Now, if you're going to do this, you have to follow this rule. You have to follow this rule for this to work. Now, what you do is, Lo, she too young. So you can't work with her yet, just yet. But Zoe, you can start working on him. I'm going to tell you a nice little hack. This is something that's pretty cool. You call Capital One. Okay, you call them on the phone. Or you go on the app. And you sign up your son, the 15-year-old. You sign him up. You say, hey, Capital One, I want to add a rider on my car. A rider. Like an authorized user. A rider. That's what they call it. A rider. Authorized user. So you say, okay, I want to add a rider. So they say, okay, no problem. What's his name? You say, his name is Zoe blank, blank, blank. Right? They're going to say, birthday. You gonna tell them blank, 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 whatever the birthday is. They gonna say, all right, what's his social? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, give me his social. Now they're gonna add Zoe to your card as an authorized user. Now, with Capital One, you can immediately take that card and make it inactive on the app. just slide that little bar to the left, and now that card is inactive. If the card comes in the mail, you can actually tell them if you call them on the phone. That's the reason why I said call them on the phone, to tell them don't send out a card. Do not send out a card, don't need it. As soon as the what's the name, you just flip it over to inactive. Now, every time when that first payment gets made after this happens, after Zoe becomes an authorized user and that first payment is made, you had this card for 4 years. Guess who just got 4 years worth of positive credit history? That boy did. Zoe credit goes from, remember, the 2 blank bars to a 715 instantly in the 7s, just from being an authorized user. Now, parents, do not get this card and run it up, because if you mess this up, you will jack that boy's credit up. But if you stay under 30%, pay it back every time, you ain't gotta use 30%. You could use your phone. If you got an iPhone, I always tell people, just go sign up for the iCloud storage. It's $2 a month. Let them charge the card and you pay it back. It's super duper duper easy. Super duper duper easy. I'm telling you, it's super easy. And only thing you have to do is set it up, go on Apple, set up for iCloud. Get a subscription for $2-3 a month. Whatever. Use your Netflix. If you already got Netflix, Hulu, whatever account, Sling, Netflix, Hulu. You paying for stars, whatever. Just charge that card. Put it on a card where it's going to keep on charging it. Take that card, cut it up. When the bill comes out, you just pay it. You just pay the $5 to $10 to $12, whatever the account costs. You pay it. That boy credit is going to skyrocket. And it's going to stay that way as long as you keep this in good standing. He's going to have good credit. And you will be able to give your child good credit. Now I'm going to tell you some more tricks as we go on. Now that is for the kids. And I'm 100% sure it works. These are my kids' credit scores. My 16-year-old's credit score is a 767. My 18-year-old's credit score is a 755. They've been riders on my cards. I put them on 2 cards, and they went from the low 7s, and they jumped up into the mid to high 7s. So they was like, they up there now. These kids could get what right now with these credit scores. Only thing they need is the income. Just like I showed you with that teacher. They in the same position. I gave them a great position and it didn't cost me anything. I just put them on a card that I was using to build my credit, and it was able to help me and my family. I done it for them. I done it for my brother. I did it for my other brother. I did like, hey, you about to go buy a house. All right, let me throw you on my card for a little while, juke you up real fast. I throw him on the card. One of my brothers, his credit score went from in the mid 6s to the high 7s. He went all the way to like a 774. I put him on my card. He jumped up a bunch of points, like 100 and some points. And he was like, man, bro, I jumped up that far. I'm like, great, congratulations. Go close on that house. Get the best interest rate ever and keep it moving, man. Pay it forward. You know what to do. So that is how you do it. It gives you, and last but not least, I know with Capital One at least, you can have up to 5 riders, which means if it's me and my lady on that card. My kids, whoever 16, okay, 16, jump on that card. Jump on that card. That's only 3. Okay, no, another kid turns 16, jump on that card. That's 4. My brother called, hey, bro, this, hey, what you trying to do about how? All right, jump on the card. They get the house, this, and this, all that. I take them out, free that space up. Now I got another space open. Let's say one of the kids like, well, Dad, this, and this. I got my own credit cards. You ain't got to do it for me no more. This, and this. 2 more spaces open. So it's just like, and then that's just one card. I got other cards. Like, I got other cards. So I'm going to show you guys, matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys some of the cards and how they work. Let me see. I got to make sure it ain't done with the actual card number. This is a really good credit card. I like this one. This is Venture 1. The card number is on the back. It's a Venture 1 card. It's pretty good. I like that one. This one was one of my starters cards. I started off with this one, a Quicksilver card. This was one of my starters cards. It started me off like $300, and it went up to like $7. All right, sorry, the camera's cut off after every 30 minutes for some stupid reason. All right, what I was gonna say is the Capital One cards. I got 10,000 on one, and I got 750 on the other one. That was the Quicksilver was the one I just started out with. So yeah, that's this one. The Quicksilver is the one I started out with, and I started out with 300. They moved me up to 750, and this one I just applied for it, and they gave me $10,000. So that's that. You know, moving on though. Let's talk about predatory loans, predatory lenders. Predator lenders. What is a predator? Somebody just going after somebody. What they do is they prey on people that don't know money, they don't know the credit game, they don't know what they doing, or they just in an unfortunate situation. They really ain't got the money, they don't have the finances or the work history, and they really need something at that time. So what are predatory lenders? They're people who is going to charge you a ridiculously high interest rate. They're going to probably overcharge you for the item. There is a lot of places that does this. Like who? Furniture stores. You got like Aaron's, Rent-A-Center. Oh, and they are horrible. Rent-A-Center is horrible with it. Buy here, pay here. Buy here, pay here, car lots. Oh, man. So, I'm going to explain to you. Let's just use the furniture store and the buy here, pay here lot. This is what happens, right? Now, we got Kareem again. And we got Drake. Kareem has taken my course. He knows what it is, and he has a 715 credit score. Drake has a 568. Now, honestly, one of the best things I can tell Drake is, bro, work on your credit. Just work on your credit, get yourself together, then go on out and go shop. But Drake needs some furniture for his house. He got kids coming over. And he needs a way to get back and forth to work. So he's forced to deal with these people. Now, Kareem didn't know before he went on the course. He was at one of these buy here, pay here lots. But he didn't know until he watched his course that later that day before he bought the car. So you know what happened? Kareem found out that they up there, that's a Dodge Charger. Now Dodge Charger, like an 07, probably about $3,500. That's how much it costs. You go to a car lot with cash, that's how much it's valued. You go look up the Blue Book value, that's how much it costs. But guess what? At a buy here, pay here lot, a lot of the time, they gonna charge $5,500 for that car. And it's not for made out the cash. They want you to buy that car on time. So Drake goes up there. He likes to charge and say, hey, I can get back and forth to work at this thing. This will get me by. So he agrees to pay $5,500 for a car that's only worth $3,500. So they're going to say, you know what? Drake, we want $200 every 2 weeks for that car, which roughly adds up to $400 a month. Okay? So he's paying $400 a month for a car that costs $5,500, and his interest rate is going to be in like a 26. I've heard somebody, just the other day I was at the barbershop, they was telling me about a guy whose interest rate on his car was a 32%. I almost fell out that chair like, is that legal? Now let me show you bad versus good. You buying a car, my interest rate on my car is a 3.9%. It's my interest rate, 3.9. I asked and they was like, dude, like, that's really low. It's really, single digits is really good on the interest rate. Now, when you get into the double digits, a 10 ain't bad. It ain't good, but it ain't bad. But when you start getting into 15, 20s, 25, 30, let me show you what that means. His car note is $400 a month. He might have that note for 5 years. This dude is going to probably pay this car off 3 times. After he finally owned his car, he done probably paid them people like $13,000 for a $3,500 car. Because he goes to a buy here, pay here. They know he can't go to a Benz dealership and this. Guess what? But Kareem, he left that buy here, pay here car lot. He took his 715 and he went over to the Mercedes-Benz dealership. And he said, you know what? I want me a $400 car note. So he went and he got him a 2016 Mercedes CLS. They go for about, let's say he found one for about $23,000. $23,000. And his car note is $400 a month for 5 years. Oh yeah, and they gave him, since this car right here, Mercedes has the little, that certified pre-owned. This one was certified pre-owned. So he got a nice little warranty on this. Because he buying it from Mercedes. They like, hey, this certified pre-owned. You bought it from us. We done checked it out. We done checked everything on this car. It's up to par. We got you a warranty. You come in to us, drop off the car, jump in another Benz, go home, enjoy your day. We'll call you when your car ready. Right? That's what he living like. Got him a Benz. Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the car X, man. Every time he coughs, the check engine light come. I've seen that. Every time. You know why? He got a crappy car for crappy money. Same thing. Now let me show you something crazy. You think it just starts and stops at cars? Rent-A-Center does the same thing. I went in the Rent-A-Center one day for no reason. I knew not to buy nothing from them. But I just went in there. I think my mama was next door or something. I had some time to wait, so I would go in the Rent-A-Center. Guess what happens? I go in there and I say, hey, man, y'all, I see y'all got that Xbox, and I already had an Xbox. It didn't matter. So, you know, the Xbox, it was the Xbox One. Was they like $299? Yeah, they was like $299.99 when they first came out. Okay? So I had the Xbox One. I go in there and say, hey, how much for that Xbox One? They say, oh, it's $25 a week. I'm like, no, cash. If I come out of my pocket right now to buy that, how much would it be? They said, oh, okay. It's $499.99. I'm like, whoa. Whoa, wait. If I go to Walmart right now for a brand new one, I could pay $300 for it. Cash. 1 year manufacturer's warranty. It's still in the box. This one is out the box, sitting behind the glass. And you want $200 more? Cash? So that's what they do. They took the Xbox, they marked it up $200, and then they're going to sell it to you on time. Well, guess what again? Yep, high interest rate. They're going to get you every time with a high interest rate. So by the time you finish paying this off, you can probably pay $950 for a game that costs you $299 cash. This is what I call predatory lending. They got them all over the place. Check cash in places. They give you ridiculously high interest rates because you in a bad bind. Ridiculous. Like you go to a check cash in place. I seen people buy or one of the title loan places. Another place. Title loan. Check cashing. There's a lot of places that they give you these ridiculously high interest. I done seen people get title loans for $500 and end up owing almost double. And they be like, man, look, I just need, like, most of the time, the smarter people, they be like, look, I got to pay this bill today, which is Wednesday, and I get paid Friday. If I don't pay them today, they going to try to repo my stuff, or they out here right now. Let me run up here to the title place, get it for $500. Bam, on Friday, I paid a little extra $150 for a 2-day wait. Those are called loan sharks. All these people are called loan sharks to me. They definitely take advantage because they're not even selling you the stuff for what it's worth. Then they're going to overcharge you for it. Then they're going to charge you ridiculous interest rates on the stuff, which make you pay the stuff off 2-3 times. It's absolutely insane, but people are in these situations. That's why the best thing to do is try to be like Kareem. Work on that credit. Understand how important it is. Or you will have a crappy life. You will have a crappy life, I'm telling you. If you ain't got an abundance of cash, you will end up with no credit. You will end up going without a lot of stuff or end up settling for stuff. You could get, like, for what you paying for these renter center places, you can go and, like, I went to a place, I forgot the name of it, something furniture, I forgot. Oh, it's right on Coliseum. I forgot the name of it. Went to a furniture store, and my credit was good, of course. So they was like, hey, whatever you get, they gave me a card. They say, look, we got a deal. We got 2 years with no interest. I'm like, oh yeah? 2 years with no interest? I spent like $3,000. Spent $3,000. Didn't have to pay a dime interest on it. So I was able to get quality furniture for the price it was worth, pay on it on time, and not have to worry about the interest. It's a win to them because they sold some furniture. It's a win for me because I could pay it off slowly and not have to pay extra. So when I paid that furniture off one time, I was done. I paid what it was worth. I paid the cash price for it on credit. Took me about a year and a couple months to pay it off. Done. Paid it off. Maybe a year and a half to pay it off. Knocked it on out. Took my time. Built some credit on the way. And kept it moving. Now, they just raised my, after I paid it off, the next day they raised my limit. Like, hey, could you please come up here and spend some of your money with us? Please, please. I'm like, nah, no thank you. Don't want it. Quick credit hack about bills. Now, this one is dope. I like this one. This one is a feel-good hack. I love it. One thing that everybody has in this world is bills, usually. Especially if you're independent, you're living on your own, you got some bills. So, the average bill amount for a household to run, usually, with rent, light, and gas, is usually $1,500 to $1,700 a month. That's the average. Most people gonna say, well, I don't know what that's at. That's just the average. I know some people like, man, I stay in Iowa. Man, only thing our bills is about $900 to $1,000. Then some people like, I stay in California. Man, our bills come up to at least $2,500. The average. Just the middle. This is what most people pay. Now, this is a hack if you got a nice size credit card. Like this one. It's a venture card. I got a $10,000 limit on it. So what you do is, if you got like a $5,000 card, that's okay. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Well, that'll get you about that'll get you $1,500 at 30%. But if you got about $10,000 credit card, I'm gonna show you a hack, at least. Even if you get it with 15, just pay $1,500 worth for the bills on now. That's what you do. Charge all your bills, your monthly bills, to your credit card. I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Let me show you. if you got a credit card and you stay under 30%, long as you can stay under 30%, charge up to 30%. So you can charge up to $1,500 on this card, and you can charge up to $3,000 on this one. Okay. So you got that light bill, the gas, light, gas, mortgage or rent, car note, like all your bills, all your little bills, all your regular bills, charge as many of them as you can, and you can still be under 30%, right? This is what happened. Make sure you got the type of credit card that gives you reward points, though. Reward points. Now look, right? Now you got a card that's giving you reward points, right? So you charging this money and you paying it back. It's not close. So like, alright, you got the reward points coming in. You gotta pay these bills anyway. You have to pay your bills anyway. So it's no way around. It's like, oh man, gotta pay my light bill, gotta pay my gas bill, gotta pay this bill, gotta pay this bill, gotta pay this bill. Charge it to the card. And instead of paying the light people, then the gas people, then the mortgage people, then the car note, pay the credit card bill. Put the money to the side. Every time it come up, okay, this bill, then put that money to the side, cool. Let me put that money to the side, cool. Let me put that money to the side. And every time you put that money to the side, you charge the car. Charge. The statement come out. Your statement come out for $1,525. No. If you got this card, it comes out to $1,478. 68 cents. Bam. You got the money. You send them. You pay them. Send it in. You pay it off. Bam. You just got reward points. That adds up to money. You continuously do this. Now, I talked to somebody close to me, and I asked them what they monthly expenses is. They said $3,000 to $4,000. I told them the same thing. Do that. I get good money in reward points, and my expenses ain't high. His expenses is a lot higher than mine, so he's probably going to be getting almost double. I keep my expenses low. My monthly regular expenses is not that high. His is double. So he going to start paying all that. He about to be cashing out. I just bought a $400 pot and pan set with reward points. I sent people some gift cards to Roof Chris, Bed Bath & Beyond, reward points. You can use it for flying miles to fly out through the country, fly out the country, reward points. You can use it for anything, and you only paying bills that you already gonna pay anyway. That is a really nice hat. Very proud of that hat. Now, moving on. Okay, we got the hack. Using your personal credit with business. Now, these are called, when you use your personal credit with business. Ooh. Now, when you go out and you start a business and you're building that business up, you may need some type of money, to help you push yourself over the edge, get that extra equipment, get this or get that, get this. Now, what happens is sometimes they might ask you for somebody that's going to back up the loan. Say, hey, this business, you might have good business credit, but we still need somebody to sign on this dotted line and say, hey, if this business fall, we want a person that we could come and get. Which is kind of bad, it's kind of bad, but sometimes that's the route you have to go to get started. Now, if you want to learn more about business credit and building your business up, I got a business credit course. It's already out. Go to ybetv.org/shop and you can pick it up. Now, as far as the personal credit and you actually backing your loan up with your personal credit, this is what you do. You go and you want to get a business credit card. And you want to get you a Amex under your business name, 123 Trucking. Right? They say, hey, I like the way your business set up. It looks great. It looks like you're making money. You want something for expenses when your truck break down, blah, blah, blah. We need somebody, a personal guarantor. We need a personal guarantee. You say, okay, well, I'll give you my social. He gives that social. Okay, he gives his social. Now, his credit score is a 715. They give him a card for $50,000. Now, if his truck breaks down, if he needs anything fixed, he has a card to cover that. He's in great shape. He's in good shape. He's in great shape. So, that's why you use this personal credit. You can use your personal credit to back your business up sometime. And then, after he gets this going, and he's getting points for using this credit card or stuff that he's going to pay back. That's another thing. Businesses use a lot of money. You might lose. Let's say I knew a guy, right? I'm going to show you this. This is what he did. He had a business credit card. A lot of people say, why would you use a business credit card? Why would you use it? Because you already making the money to pay for it, right? So this is what he did. He had trucks that he used his business card for to fuel. He had trucks that he was fixing. So he fixed all the trucks. He get the person in and say, hey, you need a new starter. It's going to be with the cords and the wires and everything, the starter, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to do the drop shaft, this. The bill is going to be $3,700. The parts is going to be $1,700. He goes, he takes that credit card, swipes it. $1,700. Swipe that card. He got the money from him, the $3,500 paid. He got that in his pocket. He separated his debt from his profit. That's been separated. Cool. Now he's done that 10, 15 times every day. He's probably sitting out for $10,000, $12,000 worth of parts. Right? Guess what happens? He's racking up all this. He's spending all this money. He probably got like a $250,000 credit card. He's spending all this money. At the end of the month, he pays it all back. That dude says that him and his family leaves the country 3-4 times a year. Free of charge off credit card points. Off of credit card points. And I'm going to tell you this before I move to the next thing. When it comes to business and using your personal and combining them, you will always get more credit if you got a business than you'll ever get on a card if you're using it personally. So, moving on. All right, we back. Had to take a short break. All right, now, when to file bankruptcy is next. When do you file bankruptcy? All right, now, to go over bankruptcy, what is bankruptcy? Why do people file bankruptcy? You got Chapter 7 and you got Chapter 13 bankruptcy, okay? Now, one of those chapters is a chapter where you pay back. And one is a chapter where you say, I'm not giving y'all nothing. Okay. Now, first off, what is bankruptcy? Bankruptcy, when do you file bankruptcy? What is bankruptcy? Bankruptcy is basically a way for you to be able to walk away from a lot of your debt or make arrangements where you can consolidate all your debt and not pay the interest. You can pay the lowest price for a predetermined amount of time. And when you pay that, you own everything flat out. But you cannot file that again within 7 years. Now, that's what bankruptcy is. Now, what type of bankruptcies it is, you got the chapter, I think it's chapter 13 where you pay back, and chapter 7 you don't give back nothing. I might have it confused. But either way, you got the 2 chapters. Okay, bam. Now, with one where you pay back nothing, you say, hey, I don't own a lot, I don't got a lot. I think you can't have like more than about 7,000 to 8,000 or something like that you own when you file chapter 7, or they will make you sell it and pay off the people that you owe. Or if you like a couple, I think you get like close to double the amount or something like that you guys can have in belongings. But that's with this one. I think, and this one, you got to be careful with creditors. When to file bankruptcy? Basically, you file bankruptcy when you know you just can't make this. You got, like, now, outside of student loans and the IRS, of course, if you owe them, you can't file nothing. You got to pay them. And taxes, of course. Now, you take them, put them to the side, you got all the creditors. Now, the thing is that If you want to file bankruptcy, why would you file bankruptcy? Let's just say you're in a situation like you got a car repossessed. You don't have the car anymore, but you still owe them $15,000. You got a house that you ended up leaving that lease, breaking that. They put that on your credit. They saying that you broke the lease early. They're gonna pay. That's $3,000-$4,000. You got all these bills. You got doctor's bills, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. You got all these big bills, and you don't make a lot of money. So it's like you're not gonna be able to really pay that back. So file bankruptcy. Sometimes it's best to file bankruptcy. It's either, okay, are you about to try to make a big purchase? If you are, will it be easier to go ahead and rebuild and repair your credit? Do you feel like it's repairable? Have you tried to repair it? Did you try to repair your credit and it didn't work and you know you're not going to be able to pay it back? You need to file bankruptcy. A lot of times people think bankruptcy is really, really bad when it's not. It's not really bad. So it's like, for example, I was in a situation where when I got divorced, a lot of property went this way and that way. A lot of liability and responsibility was like, still connected. So I was like, okay, if I say I want this, this person probably don't want it. If I say I don't want it, they gonna say they don't want it. So it's like, okay, I'm not. Then if I do want it and I fix it and I make it to a cash cow, they gonna come back in and say, hey, I let it all go. I let a lot of the joint stuff go. I already had a lot of other debts. So I was like, you know what? Let me file bankruptcy. I did file bankruptcy. And you know what? We're going to go into life after bankruptcy. Now, the thing about bankruptcy is everybody look at it like it's so negative. It's this, it's that. You know what bankruptcy is? This is what bankruptcy is. It's a strategy. Bankruptcy does not mean you broke. Bankruptcy means that you take a house that you paid $350,000 for. The market has gone down and now they saying that house is only worth $170,000. You still paying a note on it like that. So you say, hey, if this stays like this, I ain't got no other connections. I got this $350,000 house. I got this, but I could get that same house for $170,000. I got a little debt over here. I got some more investments that went bad over here. You know what? I'm just gonna walk away from it and file bankruptcy. You walk away from it, you file bankruptcy. Now that's gone. Let's just say you got your wife. Your wife used her credit to get y'all in the house for $170,000. You in good shape while you rebuilding yours. It's all a strategy. After bankruptcy, after it is filed, you got 2 years after it's discharged before people will start showing you love on things. You could buy a house. You could buy a car after bankruptcy. I just bought one, got the best interest rate. You could buy a house, get the best interest rate after a year or two after you filed your bankruptcy is discharged. You could get a house, you could get a car, you could rebuild the credit. It's certain people that's kind of sticklers. Like if you want to get like an American Express credit card or something like that, they say, hey, if you didn't file bankruptcy in the last 7 years, we won't deal with you. But after 7 years, they will. And that time will fly. So it's so many things you could do after bankruptcy. It's not a big deal to file bankruptcy. It's not saying that you're a failure. People equate bankruptcy with failure. You're not a failure if you file bankruptcy. It is just a strategy. And sometimes if you do it the right way, you could come out on top. A lot of people it's illegal now, but a lot of people was getting really smart with the bankruptcy. What they was doing is they'd go buy a house that costs $100,000, right? That's worth, let's just say $200,000. Then they'll get an equity loan for the whole line for $100,000. Get an equity loan, pay the mortgage for a little while, go take this, buy something else, make about the same $50,000, $60,000. Get a bunch of credit cards, got like $75,000 worth of credit cards. And you know what they would do? They would take all this, go take all this, cash this out. Go buy a whole bunch of furniture and a whole bunch of stuff and this and that and this and cash it out. Then you know what they do? They go right out and file bankruptcy. Now they got $75,000 worth of belongings and they got $100,000 worth of cash. That's $175,000. They file bankruptcy. Go take this, buy a house, cash, paid off, and go take that $75,000 and furnish it and buy a car and all types of stuff. And I'm telling you, they used to do that, but it's illegal now. But the point is, it was always a strategy. Bankruptcy is a strategy, so use it as such. Getting on to credit businesses like Lexington Law. There's a lot of places that will charge you like $100 per month, $125 per month, $95 per month. And you know what they're doing? They will repair your credit. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You can get these places to repair your credit. It is like Lexington Law. You got places like Lexington Law. I don't really know a lot of different places like Credit Gurus, Credit Helpers, or something like that. And they'll do like a program where they'll send letters out for you. They'll dispute everything on your credit. They'll dispute the inquiries. They'll dispute as much as they possibly can. And you just pay them by the month. Or you could do a lot of stuff yourself. You could do a lot of it yourself and try your best. Like right now, if you got bad credit, right now it's time for you to start sending out letters. Now in this course, as a bonus, I put PDF files in the bonus material. I'm going to go over the bonus material too right now. The bonus material, we're going to talk about debt consolidation, payment plans, negotiating collections, dispute letters to the bureaus, business relationship with creditors, and securing your credit with Credit Lock. In the PDF files, you got credit bureau letters, creditor letters, where you could fill in your stuff and send it out. And then you got the test on what you learned today in this lesson and the answers. And that's going to be a lot of the time for the parents and the kids to go over. Now, last but not least, we got two more things and then we done. First thing is saving money and my IOU sheet. Now, push this up. Listen. First and foremost, I'm going to tell you about saving money. It's a rule called the 50-30-20 rule. You're supposed to take 50% of whatever you make and put it to the side for bills. You're supposed to take 30% of whatever you make and, put it to the side for stuff like, stuff that you want to do for yourself, whatever. 30% of your income to treat yourself or whatever. Or whatever you need, things around the house, food, whatever. You do that. And then the 20% rule is that's what you save. Now, that is the 50-30-20 rule. Okay, but it's another rule. The rule that I say is it is no correct amount to save. This is why people mess up, because some people are really living close to, what they make versus what they spend just to get by, and they already struggle. So they like, I can't afford to save 20%. What you do is save what you can. Save what you can. It is no correct number or amount to save. Little boy, little girl, whoever, your parents, whoever. If you get $5, can you save 50 cents? If you get a $20 bill, can you save $4? Stuff like that. Always save something. It don't matter what it is. Save it, and save it in a quantity where you won't go back and touch it. Now, got one more thing I want to show you guys. This right here, this is part of this one. This right here is called the IOU savings loan. This will be printable for you guys right here. This works better when you're in a relationship, but you could do this for yourself, and you could be your own person and sit back and think about it, or just ask somebody that you really trust that do you feel like that would they approve of this if this was their significant other. So it goes like this. It's an IOU savings loan. Whenever your significant other goes into the savings account and wants to make a purchase, they got to fill out one of these. It says you put your name and putting in for a savings loan where you go into your savings account in the amount of how much for the emergency of. Right here you got a space to write to say, hey, I need this because I gotta do this, and this, blah, 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 this, and this is important. My car needs new struts. I need to go into my what's name. This is my vehicle to get to work. Now, the debt will be repaid back, because you gotta pay this back. Oh, you borrowed from yourself, but it has to be paid back. It will be repaid by blank, and the amount of blank will be added to each savings payment in the debt until the debt is paid. Which means that if you always save $100 per week out your paycheck, and you borrow $400, you say, well, I'm gonna need some time. I could probably throw like a good $50 per week in until it's paid up. So that's gonna take me 8 weeks. For the $400, it's gonna take me 8 weeks, which will put me at the 1st of December. Let's just say, I don't want to do the math. The 1st of December. Okay, you put this will be paid in an amount. The debt will be repaid by December 1. In the amount of, so you'll be paying $150 per week. Your regular $100 plus the $50. So you'll be putting $50 on there. As the borrower, you sign your name and the person that's going to sign off and say, yeah, because your mate has to approve this. When I want to go on my savings, I got to go to my lady and say, babe, I need to go on my savings for this, this, and this. And she could say, denied. That's stupid. You're not going to your savings for that. But guess what? In the end, you're saving money hand over fist. Dope idea. That's my idea. And last but not least, after completing this course, if you made it to this point, I want to say congratulations. You have made it through YBE TV's credit course. This right here is a certificate that you need to print out for yourself. If this is for a child, make sure this is printed out for you and you write your name right there. Let's just say baby girl did it. You write your name in there and you could get it framed saying that you have completed YBE's TV's personal credit course. You've completed it. Congratulations. And I want to take the time to shout you guys out because this is for the kids. And I want to let you know that this information is going to really, really help you in the long run. So make sure you watch this and you learn this, because this could be the difference between you being a man with nothing or a man with millions. So make sure you pay attention to this type of stuff and give yourself a hand for making it through the course. And if you grow in this hand for you too, you deserve it. Let me get some claps, y'all. Alright, y'all. Man, this your boy Toon signing off. I'm out of here. I hope y'all enjoyed the course. Signing off. If you don't want to end up in a box, think outside of it.
If you don't want to end in a box, think outside of it.
What's supposed to say last?
YBE.
There you go, YBE. Alright, y'all. So long.